Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this video, we're going to shine a spotlight on Raro Video. Who is Raro Video? What sort of product do they put out? And also in this video, I'm going to take you guys on an item-by-item tour of my own Raro Video Blu-ray collection. There's some fantastic things here, some classics, some highly influential films. Raro Video is an Italian-based film distributor. They primarily release Italian films for an Italian market. But there's a North American chapter, a second arm of Raro Video, that for 8 or 9 years now has brought that focus of Italian movies to a North American audience. So we're talking about a lot of different genres here. Giallo, Italian horror Giallo. We're also talking about spaghetti westerns. The Eurocrime movie of the 70s, the Polizia, I can't pronounce it. I'll work on pronouncing it better for next time. But you guys know the Eurocrime movie of the 70s. But also things like comedies, drug movies, movies about self-discovery, sexual awakenings, that sort of thing. Even sex crimes, trafficking, things like that. They're not necessarily one sort of movie. But if you've watched a lot of Italian movies, you know that genre is not necessarily strict for Italian movies. They're very fluid, and they can be horrific and then move into a dreamy self-discovery and also have humor in it. Like, they're very fluid. The common thread is that they're all just very Italian. They're very European. Italian movies have their own, see I'm doing this, they have their own focus, they have their own feeling, and it's fun to discover them. And so for a long time, I think that they sort of flew under the radar with a lot of people, but lately, I'm seeing that changing. More and more people are talking about Raro Video. I think part of that is because they are having aggressive sales. Roughly every 2 weeks, they have a 50% off sale. So if you're not following them on Facebook and you're interested in the stuff that we're about to talk about, I highly recommend following them on Facebook because they almost every 2 weeks announce a new code for 50% off. And the traditional standard Raro Blu-ray release is about $22. When you take away 50% off, you're looking at about $10.50. On average, it's $10.50 American money for one of these Blu-rays. I will also say, if you do place an order with them, please allow a while for shipping. I do not know where their stock comes from, but I do sort of wonder if it comes from Italy, if it's an overseas distributor. It takes about 3 weeks. When I've ordered from them in the past, the turnaround is about 3 weeks. Now, the transfers are not always reference quality. The way they encode things sometimes is not what we would consider reference quality, but they're always high definition. These Blu-rays are always high definition, and they always look better than a DVD would. But it's the other areas where, besides the film transfers, which I think are usually pretty good, but it's the other areas where I feel like they really shine, because we're talking about educational presentations. Okay, for example, this movie. This is Meet Him and Die. It's directed by Franco Prosperi. So if we turn it on its side, well, here we have a picture of Franco Prosperi. It also says, oh, I'm upside down. Here. So there's Franco Prosperi. It says, there's Franco Prosperi's name, Meet Him and Die. Now, that's not the original Italian name, but the Italian name is right here. So we have the English title, the director, and then the Italian title. Flip it over. This red box gives us our special features, which are important, but not as important as this large red box. And in this large red box, it tells us the year of the film, 1976, Italy. So year, country of origin, 94 minutes, 35 millimeter. So we have the type of film that it was shot on, and color. And then under that, director, screenwriter, the cinematographer, music, editing, producer, the cast. Everything that you need to know about this movie as a film fan is in this red box. But then they always come with cool special features too. So this one has a video introduction by Mike Malloy, a 6 minutes and 34-second video introduction. Now, Mike Malloy is a Eurocrime aficionado. He pops up on a lot of these. He has literally done a documentary. Like, Mike Malloy is a big player in Eurocrime movies. But they also, so these slipcovers, they all come with a slipcover. I say that. I have one in the stack that does not have a slipcover, and it drives me crazy because I bet it came with a slipcover, but this copy for some reason doesn't have one. We'll talk more about this in a second, but they always come with a slipcover. And then you take the the Blu-ray case out, you have alternate artwork, almost always alternate artwork. Let me hold this up. Different photos on the back, so variations. Now, I gotta be careful with what I show you guys because they will throw nudity on this thing like that. Like you wouldn't expect that to be just like front and center on something like this, but they do. So I'm gonna have to be really careful here. The discs all are uniformly black with the red and white writing. I love that. The Raro Video label, the logo, is red, black, and white. And they've kept that uniformity across the board in other areas. We also almost always get a booklet. And I love a booklet. You know, back in the early days of DVD, all things came with booklets. It was usually like 2 pages. It was just like one folding page. But it would have a little bit of production information, the stuff we're talking about, like the writer, director. It gave you information like, here's who made this movie and kind of what they were after. I used to love that, and then we quickly got away from that as they became more commercial. But these releases still carry it on. So I'm just going to take you on a tour of this one booklet. We're not going to go through the rest of these, but I just want to show you what kind of stuff we're dealing with. So this is the booklet. First page is all the information about this movie, the stuff that we were talking about, the writer, the director, the cinematographer, the cast. Then we start an essay. This is Dead Serious and Exemplary, Meet Him and Die by Mike Malloy. So our Eurocrime aficionado has written an essay about this movie, about its importance. So we have screenshots. Again, I have to make sure I'm not showing you guys anything that's going to get me in trouble with the YouTubes. Lengthy essay too, as you can see. There's a lot of text here. And then the last 2 pages are a biography of the director, Franco Prosperi. And perhaps even more importantly, the back is the director's filmography by year. So you can track down the movies that he made. Like, did so-and-so, did he do this movie? Well, it's going to be right here on the back with the year. I think that is so cool. This is like, I'm going to have to be careful how I say this. The presentation of this is very akin to a Criterion, where they're celebrating the filmmaker and the art of the cinema as much as they're, you know, celebrating the movie. Like, you know, it's educational. That's the word I'm looking for. It's educational in its presentation. And again, while not always crystal clear reference, you know, like, oh, you're calling people on the phones, but you got to see this. They always look good. They're always decent. Now, the internet will debate you on that, and that's fine. But for me, everyone that I've watched has been high definition and decent. But so that's that. We'll start with there. And I'm also going to tell you guys as we're going through this stack, some of these I haven't seen because I've been partaking of these 50% off sales. You guys know a lot of stuff's always coming in, so I work them in when I can, but I have seen quite a few of these. So we'll talk about what I can weigh in on. Stunt Squad, the one that broke my heart, the one that breaks my heart that there's no slipcover because it's the one that won't have the director on the spine when they're all lined up. Just this one standing out without the director on the spine. This is a super cool 1977 Italy, 96 minutes and 45 seconds. Color, high definition. It is a crime movie that takes place in Milan. You know, a lot of these movies take place, I think it's Milan. Bologna. It's in Bologna. A lot of these movies have themes of like an overrun crime element. In fact, if we look at the 70s vigilante wave, Dirty Harry, Death Wish 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those movies are really influenced by these Italian crime movies about an overrun city center where the cops can't take care of it because there's only so many of those and there's so much crime. You got to clean up the streets. So in this movie, that's the premise. So much crime, criminal masterminds overtaking Italy, and the chief, the head cop, brings in a stunt squad of motorcycle cops, and it's basically just these cops riding around on their motorcycles, 70s leather, looking super cool. With this music in this movie is incredible. There's actually, if you go to YouTube, well, you're on YouTube. If you look on YouTube and you type in stunt squad, they have put up, Raro Video has put up the menu for this movie on YouTube with the music, the theme. It's like the synthesizer theme that I can totally see Quentin Tarantino taking and putting in one of his movies, if he hasn't already. I don't think I've heard it in one of his movies, but it's the kind of thing. Tarantino's a big Italian film fan, so I can totally see that popping up in one of his movies. But go check that one out, because it's just really cool. The teenage prostitution racket. Now, maybe the less said about this, the best. But this is one of those. It's a crime movie that deals with. It's 1975, directed by Carlo Lazzani, and it is about the crime of Italy. Again, the crime, that overrun crime, taking teenagers, forcing them into prostitution, kind of trading on people. And it's not. I think maybe this is supposed to look and sound sort of. Exploitative, but I think this is more of a legitimate crime-focused movie about something that was really happening in Italy in the 70s. So a lot of that happens, the society bleeds into the art. Society always bleeds into art. Art is a reflection of where we are at the time, right? So Slaughter Hotel by Fernando Di Leo, Fernando Di Leo, famous for his crime films. He kind of wrote the book on Italian crime films. Let's see, I didn't show you the alternate cover for Teenage Prostitution Racket. There's our alternate artwork for that one. And the alternate artwork for Slaughter Hotel focuses on Klaus Kinski, who I like to joke is in 99.9997% of all European films between the 60s and like the 90s. Like, he's in everything. That's a joke, and it's an exaggeration, but only a little. Slaughter Hotel, Fernando Di Leo. This is a, you can kind of see the rise of the slasher movie that would be in these Italian movies. This is 1971. On that note, let's see, what year is this? 1980. Nightmare City, directed by Umberto Lenzi. Is this also City of Death in some markets? I feel like it's maybe City of Death in some markets. I could be confused, but Nightmare City. Kind of a zombie sort of thing. Is this not the most Italian thing that you've ever seen on a on a Blu-ray cover? This is super Italian with the helmets and the masks and stuff. Here's our alternate artwork. Did I say this was directed by Umberto Lenzi? Because it is. I'm just curious. I want to go through the booklet on this one. Oh, this one has our black artwork, but it also has a little picture of that helmeted Italian Giallo kind of a guy. Giallo, always with the helmets, always with like the mystery. He's probably got gloves on. Do we see gloves? No. But there's, they're just out of frame. See if I can show you guys any of the pictures from this this booklet. So, okay, City of the Galloping Not Dead by Chris Alexander. I believe Chris Alexander writes for Fangoria. Let me double check myself. Special features an interview with Umberto Lenzi. 49-minute interview with Umberto Lenzi. Original English trailer, original Italian trailer, fully illustrated booklet with production notes by Chris Alexander of Fangoria magazine. Yes, so this is his essay. Tons of text, as you can see. This is not skimpy. It's not like it's a movie about horror. No, there's some sexy in there. You gotta be careful there. A biography of Lenzi. And then, holy cow, check out Umberto Lenzi's filmography. Can you guys see that? Is that showing up? That's a lot of work. So if you're a film fan and you're studying these directors and you're doing, it's work. It's fun, but it's work. Like, you're like, oh, I'm gonna study up on so and so. These biographies and these filmographies are stunning. Okay, Hanging for Django, which is by Sergio Garon. This is spaghetti western. Obviously, it is. It's got a video documentary, Bounty Killer for a Massacre, a new HD restoration. New HD transfer from a 35mm negative print, digitally restored, new and improved English subtitles. That's important, and a fully illustrated booklet. So they don't have a ton of spaghetti westerns in their oeuvre, in their catalog, but hopefully they'll get more. They do tend to lean into the horror because that's so much of what Italy did. I would love to see. Hey, if there's anyone from Raro Video watching this particular video on YouTube, I would love to see more of the early, the peplum from the early 60s, the late 50s, early 60s, as well as more spaghetti westerns. Some of the things that predates the horror and the crime movies, some of the older things. But I don't know, that may not be the bread and butter for some of these things. But this is The Long Hair of Death. This stars Barbara Steele, iconic horror actress Barbara Steele. One of these, it's this one, Revenge of the Blood Beast, which does not Iago di Satana, I think it's the Sister of Satan. I don't speak Italian, I'm sorry, but this had a lot of different names. But this is a Barbara Steele acting vehicle as well. This is our Barbara Steele double feature, apparently. This is Antonio Margheriti. This is Michael Reeves, the director of Witchfinder General, aka The Conqueror Worm. He was obviously not Italian, but this movie filmed in Italy. Let's see, 1966, Italy, 79. Michael Reeves, cinematography by Giancino Gingarelli. Anyway, you can tell Italian talent involved with this. But what I wanted to say is this release in particular has a featurette by Nocturno, a documentary on the making of the film. It had a lengthy, I think it was about 30 minutes, interview with Barbara Steele about her career, which was really cool. But these are classic. Let's see, 1964, 1966. Let me show you the alternate artwork for these. I've been neglecting the alternate artwork for the last couple of ones. This is Hanging for Django. Looks sharp, right? Looks sharp. I want to see more people talking about spaghetti westerns with the same passion that we talk about horror. I love horror, but I also love spaghetti westerns. I love crime movies. I want to see more. I want to see that horror level of passion for other genres. Here's the alternate artwork for this one. And the alternate artwork for The Long Hair of Death. Looks pretty classy, right? We are almost done here. I saved the best for last. This is not the end, but this is almost the end. Hitchhike. If you guys have seen Hitchhike, I do not need to convince you. This movie is insane. But it's very, very cool. It's very good. I'm going to try to talk about this in a way that is not alienating. It's Franco Nero, who was Django, the original Django in the movie directed by Sergio Corbucci. It's Corinne Clary, who was a Bond girl, okay? And it's David Hess from 70s horror movies. And what David Hess tends to do in his movies, like that really aggressive, angry, there's words I want to use that I'm not going to use in this video because I don't want to bring it. But David Hess tends to want to have his way in his movies, and this is another one of those. It's this couple, Franco Nero, Corinne Clary. They're out doing some stuff. They're fighting. They're not getting along at all. But then they pick up David Hess, or you could argue that David Hess picks up them and ends up just torturing, like terrorizing them. He doesn't torture them. He terrorizes them. He's in full control, and they're kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And there's this really interesting commentary on power dynamics. Corinne Clary is beautiful. Franco Nero is incredibly masculine and good looking, though he's not a nice guy in this movie. It's a very, very good movie. Show you the back of the box. I don't think I can show you the booklet for this one because it is what it sounds like. But it's very good. I highly recommend it. The essay in this is also very informative. And that brings us to kind of the center point of the collection, which is the Fernando Di Leo collections, the box sets. There are two. These two Fernando Di Leo collections give you a good, you guys see that? Is it showing up okay? They give us, I think, 7 movies. Let me make sure I'm holding it upright. I'm holding it upside down. These are 7 movies by Fernando Di Leo. These are from his crime collection. Oh, this box is coming unglued. I'm going to have to see this. It's happening in real time on camera. This box is starting to come open at the bottom. So I just have to put a little glue across here and we will be done. But this is number, I want to make sure I'm doing them in order. The Italian Crime Collection. This was not numbered. This one is number 2. Okay, so this is number 1. Caliber 9, The Italian Connection, The Boss, and Rulers of the City. Now, some of these movies are available individually on DVD. Some of them have individual Blu-ray releases and some of them have individual DVD releases. But the only way you can get all of these movies in Volume 1 and in Volume 2 on Blu-ray is through these box sets. And again, they're priced reasonably. You get them for 20 something bucks for 3 and 4 movies. So this is our first collection. Rulers of the City with Jack Palance, Al Cliver, Harry Bayer, Gisela Hahn, directed by Fernando Di Leo. Did you guys, could you see that? Jack Palance is, of course, an icon. Some may know him as Curly from City Slickers, but he did a whole lot more than that. He was also in Batman. You are my number one guy. The Boss with mother humping Henry Silva. I shouldn't have said that. Henry Silva's in this one. Richard Conte, Gianni Garco, Sartana himself, Gianni Garco. So I think this is one of the ones, I may be mistaken. Do not quote me on this. Do your own research. I think this is one of those that you can only get on Blu-ray in the box set. The Italian Connection. Henry Silva's in this as well. These movies are indispensable crime films for what they do. Caliber 9. This one has Gaston Machine and Barbara Boucher. And this is... These are 70s. Let's see, 72. Let's just do the, let's see, 76, 73, 72, 72. So we're dealing with 70s crime movies. They also, now if you buy these individually, I think each one comes with a booklet. And you can see there's no booklet in these, just the disc. But the box set itself comes with an exclusive booklet that you don't get if you buy them individually. And this is an overview. Fernando Di Leo Crime Collection, a candid interview with Fernando Di Leo on the making of his films from 2001. So it's what it sounds like. How do you make a noir? You started your career as a screenwriter, didn't you? One of the first screenplays on which you worked was A Fistful of Dollars. So Fernando Di Leo talking about A Fistful of Dollars. Film education, you guys. It's so cool. Here's this box is really... It's going. It's going. Got to get out the super glue. And last but certainly not least is our Fernando Di Leo Crime Collection Volume 2. This has Naked Violence, Shoot First, Die Later, and Kidnap Syndicate. So we'll go through these one by one. Naked Violence is 1969. So you can see we're jumping all over years because Volume 1 had 70s. Now we're in the 60s. But 1969... I don't think there's a booklet in here. No booklet. Shoot First, Die Later, 1974. Kidnap Syndicate from 1975. What's our cast here? Luca Miranda, James Mason. James Mason. That was not a very good James Mason. And Irina Maliva. So that one also includes an exclusive booklet just for these releases, which is more of an overview on the films themselves. Overview on Naked Violence, Kidnap Syndicate, Shoot First, Die Later. Oh, I can't show you guys that. And then it ends with a biography of Fernando Di Leo. Quentin Tarantino loves Fernando Di Leo. He swears by him, and for understandable reason. He's the master of what he did. You know, there's certain directors that you can look at what they did in cinema, and you can say that was highly influential, that influenced an entire movement. Fernando Di Leo is one of those guys. But all of these directors, I will argue, all of these directors have something that they bring to the party, and they are important for what they did. So that is our Raro Video collection. That is our spotlight on Raro Video. Tons of releases. Now, they don't have hundreds of releases in their catalog like a Kino Lorber or a Shout Factory or something like that. They're a relatively small, focused label. I think they probably have, I don't know, I'm guessing 60, 75 films in their umbrella. And we're just enjoying buying them and discovering them whenever we can. So we will continue to add to these. And when we do, we'll update you from time to time. But that is Raro Video. We think that they're pretty cool and worthy of support. So guys, if you do, let me know what you think about them. And if you do have an opportunity to reach out to Raro Video, let them know that Serial at Midnight sent you, because we do champion what they do and we really enjoy their product. So guys, thanks very much. Thanks for talking about Raro Video. Thanks for talking about all these cool genre films. What's interesting to you? What do you have experience with? Let's continue the conversation in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much. Take care. And until next time, I will catch you later.